So now that Del and Iden have Leia's permission, they head off to Bespin so they can try to capture their old friend Gideon Hask. The goal here is to capture Hask so that he can give us intel on Admiral Versio, because taking him out of the war would be a huge blow to the Empire, supposedly.
According to Paldora's intel, my father's been refueling...
Like Iden says, we're using Paldora's intel here. This is the intelligence we got in the previous mission on Takodana. He gave Han some information about Kashyyyk. He gave the New Republic information about the Empire and where they're refueling. And so that's why we're here at Bespin.
There's always more to it than luck.
That line that Del just said, there's always more to it than luck, that is an echo back to the Pilio mission and Del's experience with Luke, so that kind of foreshadows his growing belief in the Force.
The Empire needs, the Beldons are mission critical.
If you say so.
Iden thinks it's cute that Del investigates all of the wildlife of a planet before they visit, and he's talking about Beldons here. First of all, that's kind of flirtatious, and again, that's more foreshadowing, but the Beldons do create the Tabana gas of Bespin. They use their tentacles to pull in what's called atmospheric plankton. I don't know if that has any bearing in actual science at all, but on Bespin it does. There's atmospheric plankton that they pull in and then they convert to the gas. So I don't know, maybe they just fart it back out and then the Empire or whoever collects it and uses it to fuel their ships.
I want to see them when they're free.
That actually sounds really nice.
This whole talk reminds me of Hera and Kanan and discussing like what happens after the fight and Hera not knowing. And Del says he wants to see Lothal and my capo. I mean, that right there is a connection to Star Wars Rebels, so I just found that to be an interesting parallel.
There's the landing pad. They shouldn't spot our ships down here.
And here is Chinook Station. This is a brand new place. It's never appeared before in any Star Wars story. I think it's kind of cool to see that there are other cities like Cloud City, but now knowing that there are more, it's kind of pompous for Cloud City to just call itself that. Like, there's only one city in the clouds of Bespin. Like, that's not true, clearly. If you look closely, and soon it's going to give us a better look, but you can see that here we go, the ID-10 is stuck in the astromech socket. In my Easter egg video, I didn't see that or catch that until the Jakku level, but I think that's pretty cool. I don't know that we've ever seen an astromech socket converted like that.
Hask will be in the Overseer's Tower on the main level. We need to find a turbo lift to get there. The droid said there's one ahead, along with the stormtrooper.
Here's something else I haven't caught before. I guess Iden speaks binary, or whatever droid language the ID-10 just blurped out.
Make another pass. I don't want anything slipping through the cracks while Commander Hask is here.
The design of this level is very reminiscent of, like, the industrial parts of Cloud City. Not really the glamorous parts, but, like, I don't, the orange glow everywhere. I really like that. And here comes some of probably my worst gameplay in the campaign. I just do not perform well here. My experience with the Vanguard shotgun is that it's so powerful, but I miss like 2 out of 3 shots with it. Especially in multiplayer, I like feel this urgency to use it. And I miss every time. I do a little better against computers just because they're computers. You know what? Thank goodness for the droid, because he has 100% accuracy no matter what. He's my saving grace. I'm much better with the sniper. Well, now there I go missing, but just send the droid. If I miss, it's just the droid can handle it. It is satisfying getting those headshots.
Lay down cover fire! Hang back, I got it! Run down! Get them! Give them a target!
All clear. Let's get to that lift.
Security is tighter than we thought. Getting to Hask won't be easy.
I have an idea. You're not gonna like it.
That sounds so cliche. Why wouldn't he like it? It's
Okay,
probably the
let me
best
get the
option.
tower. Until then,
I like
stay
the plan.
out of sight. That new paint job will give you away.
I think it's funny that white droids are immediately suspicious around Imperials.
Stand there, soldier.
They're like, we use black paint only. What is that white droid doing here?
Get ready, Del. Knowing Hask, he'll put up a fight.
I'm looking forward to it.
There is a lot of Arabesh in this city, just written
Brings back memories.
on buildings, like, huge. Most of them say pretty generic things like silo, depot, cargo. There's an area over to our right now that says scrap, and you can find a cloud car in there. That's pretty funny. Like, Iden will talk smack about it and be like, no pilot would ever fly this, and then you have to actually fly one later.
We've done since Vardo's, Del.
But the Overseer Towers, it's labeled Overseer, which makes sense.
It's time we did the same for Bespin. Let's find Hask.
Just find it interesting that all these buildings have giant labels on them. It's not something you see in the real world.
I'm amazed how busy this station is.
The Empire's on the run. Their
Like, just
resources are
the
dwindling.
buildings function
Just
plastered on the
like
side of it.
Empire, sir. Rebels don't stand a chance.
I hear the blockade's starting to crumble. Ships are breaking through all across the Anoan sector.
This is Governor Adelhard's fault. He should have put down the uprising as soon as it began.
So right there is a reference to the plot of Star Wars Uprising, the mobile game, and Governor Adelhard and his Iron Blockade. So what Adelhard did was, he was in charge of the Anowit sector, which is where Bespin is located. What he did was try to cut off all communication outside of the sector and say that the Emperor did not die. He tried to say that was rebel propaganda and keep the people separated from the rest of the galaxy. And of course they didn't like that. They rose up, they overthrew him, and that is about to happen in the timeline here.
Goodbye, Iden.
No, we can't let him get away.
Hask is awfully smug. I'm guessing the responsibilities he's referring to having now involve Operation Cinder and the purposeful destruction of the Empire. I think he is high up enough to know what's really going on.
That Star Destroyer. That must be Hask's.
So much for that plan.
Here we get that TIE confrontation we never saw in Rogue One.
Get off the platform.
More of them on me!
We've got too many troopers on our position.
Heavy ahead!
They need to give that droid to, like, every soldier. I mean, it's so useful. It's got a shield, it's got the electroshock.
The whole station knows we're here.
We're gonna have to fight our way off Chinook Station.
I like the way Iden enters an elevator. Just leaves Del. Oh, nope, he's with us.
Now what?
Hask was just one part of the mission.
You still want to take out the fueling pump? How do you plan to do that?
We're gonna need ships.
Again, this is just kind of bad gameplay on my part, and it takes me a while to get through it. I'm not going to make you sit through that, so let's just fast forward a little bit.
That's all of them. Now let's find that.
So, I took too long to clear everyone out. There are no more TIE fighters left, they all got away. And now we gotta fly a cloud car.
Fine.
Settle for the cloud car. Yeah, that sounds about right. I like cloud cars. They're interesting.
I should have been more specific.
It has weapons. What more?
Del's right, it does have weapons.
Be a club.
It has 2 light blaster cannons, so
Fueling
yeah,
platform's dead ahead.
not the ideal vehicle for taking on, you know, anything, except maybe another cloud car or, like, a land speeder.
No. Think about it. All we need to do is take out the fuel cells.
And the explosion will cause a chain reaction.
Exactly. All the way back to those Star Destroyers.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
You love it.
I love it!
Command?
I'm not crazy about how gung-ho Del is to kill 3 Star Destroyers full of thousands of people. Like, he was always the least zealous of Inferno Squad, but still, he fought alongside the Empire for a long time. Now they're all excited about killing a bunch of people that, like, they should have some sympathy for.
That cloud car isn't making a delivery. Take it down, 1-2. All units, form up on my position. Rogue cloud car at .03.
That's right, we're a rogue cloud car. That's the sequel to Rogue One. Rogue cloud car.
Our fleet needs this Savannah gas.
Trying, Command. It's a slippery one.
I need to replay this level on a harder difficulty. On easy, it's like, you can just straight up ignore the other fighters. You don't have to fight them at all. Just focus on the fuel cells and get it done. Here's something I don't really know about Star Wars, is like where the design from the cloud car came from. Who designed this ship and why?
Pilot 1-2, we cannot fire our cannons until fueling.
I'll have to do a video on this, because I honestly don't know the answer. Like, why are there 2 pods? Does one person pilot and one person operate the guns? Do you need 2 people to fly it? Just such a strange idea for a ship. This whole scenario, I don't know, I get kind of a Rebels vibe from it. It seems like every other episode of that show they destroyed a capital ship. And it's just one of those things that makes the Empire seem a little less threatening. Like, we just blew up 3 Star Destroyers with a cloud car. And, I don't know, maybe after the Battle of Endor, we're in Operation Cinder here, like, the Empire's in chaos. They are probably spread pretty thin, but it just seemed a little too easy. But that's the end of the mission. That's where we're going to stop for today. If you want to start this series over from the beginning, if you want to start the Lore Play series over from the beginning, you can check out this playlist right here. And if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out my Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.